everyone, to another episode of the Nazi podcast. And I got basically a double header, but just for one show, and that is for NWA with the Crockett Cup. Crockett Cup has been able to come back around, and we were looking to see who would be the new Crockett Cup holders. And there's a lot to get into. We'll get into night one. Basically, a lot has been happening, so especially on the pre-show, where we got Fodder and as well Flip Gordon taking out Dan Mathen as well Sean Donovan. Then we got Blake Troop and as well Jack Stain taking out TNT, Terrell and Terrence Hughes. We got also as well dealing with Yabo the Clown and as well Ruffle the Clown as well, dealing with the Fixers and taking them out. Also as well Toxin and as well Aries, I believe, trying not to mess up any names, taking out the Heat Seekers on this one. Then we got Kratos and Odinson dealing with Magic J Demas on this, and as well with Brian Brock, and they were able to take them out. The Outrunners being able to take out the Idolmania Sports manager, basically signing Jordan Clearwater. And now is for night one of the pre-show. Then we get into the main card, getting into more of advancement rounds for the Crockett Cup, where we have Blood Force Trauma doing very well throughout not just night one, but going into night two, taking out the Outrunners. The Immortals, Kratos, and Odin taking out the Country Gentlemen on this one, which I felt like they had an advantage actually going all the way to the finals, so I was surprised about that. And you kind of see some surprises a lot throughout not just night one, but through night two. So some teams that I thought were gonna win actually end up didn't winning, and then some. So a lot was going on. Joe Alonso dealing with Alex Taylor, and as well being able to win, basically to see who move on into the junior heavyweight championship scramble for night two, which I'll get into a little later. Then we get into the Martins. They were able to deal with Toxin and Aries, and they were able to win. And also, they were able to actually turn heel in the Crockett Cup, which is crazy to actually see that. So I actually like that, and seeing to see what happens next. Very curious about what's going to be happening next. Then we have the Brothers in Construction, of course, Yabo and Ruffo. Really interesting team. I was actually kind of liking them. So far defeating a cup above as well, Thom Latimer and as well with Titus, so that was pretty surprising there again as well. And then we also had women's division action, which is really cool to see some women's matches as well. Hardcore Team War basically with each A and their team dealing with Pretty Empowered and also defeating them as well, of course. On the opposite on Ruthie J's side had Samantha Starr, Maddie Winkowski, and as well Mr. Kate. Also on this one, of course, Baby Doll was there as well for support. And of course, we're pretty empowered. Ella Envy, Kenzie Page, Kylie Page, and Roxy. On this one, a really fun match. Then we had Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch dealing with Magnum Muscle, Dick Draper, and as well Mims. They were able to defeat them. The Midnight Marauders, basically Tyrus and Chris Adonis, surprisingly getting along and actually defeating Judas and Max the Impaler. On this one, interesting to actually see Max in there, which is really awesome to always see Max. Also, we had EC3 taking out Thrillbilly Silas Mason and actually keeping the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. So the National Heavyweight Championship being able to be retained by EC3. Really on and definitely dealing with the tag team title match, basically with Fodder and Flip Gordon, basically as well. I believe this is where we just had only just Flip Gordon, and we didn't really get to see Fodder until after a while, so we're really unable to keep the tag team titles. And also with Paulo Lamar actually being basically taken out, and actually not so much with Phil Bailey, so that was interesting and unfortunate there as well. As a side note, Then we get into with night two, which was as of this recording for tonight. Getting into the pre-show where we had the NWA and United States Tag Team Championship Gauntlet match, where we had basically Philbilly Silas and as well Alex Taylor defeating Dan Math and other people that were involved. Basically, Bulletproof Trooper in this one. TNT was in this. Uh, Daisy Kill and as well Talos. I'm trying not to mess up any names again. Magnum Muscle, obviously in this one, the now, and as well the Fixers and the Country Gentlemen all in this match, and Billy and as well Alex Taylor actually getting the win there. Then we're gonna do the women's tag team championship match where we have Mr. Kate and as well Ella Envy keeping the tag team titles over Angelina Love and as well Max the Impaler. On this was about an interesting pairing between those two as well. Then we get into the Women's Television Championship. Ruthie J actually defeating Kenzie Page on this one. Basically, disqualification, unfortunately. Definitely up by Kylie Page, so some issues definitely going there. Then we get into more of the quarterfinals. Basically, the Brothers of Construction taking out Mystique and as well Octagon Jr., who have been one of my favorite teams to watch. But actually, Mystique and Octagon Jr. actually won this one, to be corrected. So that was really cool there, and I really would like to see more of them for sure. Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox dealing with the Mortons. On this one, of course, Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox moving on, which is awesome to be able to see that. We had the Midnight Riders dealing with the Immortals on this one, and Tyrus and as well Chris Adonis moving on as well. And then some more dealing with the Crockett Cup, Blood Force Trauma dealing with Damage and Carnage, of course, dealing with La Rebellion as this one. So we also did have a Vampiro being able to make an appearance night one, which is really dope and badass to be able to see Vampiro basically dealing with La Rebellion. But Blood Force Trauma was surprisingly able to get the win as well. Then we get into the National Heavyweight Championship match, EC3, and being able to see who he would be able to have as his opponent, which was his choice. He was able to choose Latimer, which is a nice choice for sure. I would love to see him be a double champion, but EC3 able to keep his championship and move on. And then we get into the six-man scramble match to see who will be able to be number one contender for the junior heavyweight title. So in this one, we saw Flip Gordon, Joe Alonso, Eric Jackson, PJ Hoggs, Gags DeCamp, and as well Jerome Fulton, and of course where we had Colby Carino in this one and actually winning. I would have not mind actually having Flip Gordon win, but Colby Carino actually winning to be able to see who will be basically the better person on this one with him, and as well Kerry Martin for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. So that's going to be awesome there for sure. And then we get into Blood Force Trauma dealing with Mr. C's and as well Octagon Jr., and they were able to defeat them as well. Then we get into the next part for the Crockett Cup, semifinals, Midnight Riders, Tyrus, and as well Chris Adonis dealing with Trevor Murdoch, and as well for that one, I will get into that and who would be able to win a little later, but towards the end of the main event, but Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox are actually winning this one for the semifinals. Cyan and as well dealing with a masked man who wasn't really mentioned, but with that said, we had Austin Idol just basically leaving his son behind and basically having it be no contest on that. So I guess you can say not really too surprised in the way Austin Idol basically leaving his son behind. So really interesting on what's going to be happening there. Then we get into one of my favorite matches of the night, especially for both nights. The NWA World Women's Championship, Camille and as well Natalia Markova and Camille has been champion going on for 2 years, which is really insane but really awesome. So definitely congrats to her on that. I cannot believe it's been 2 years already so far as of this week. So that's going to be really cool as an accomplishment, definitely, for sure. And as well, these two going at it back and forth could have really either one. Natalia McCoy coming close, and Camille, of course, actually retaining her title. So, not too sure who's going to be able to stop her at this point. She's basically faced everybody. So, maybe there's another match down the road or something else, but that remains to be seen on that. But Camille has been definitely dominant, that is for sure. Then we get to the finals, of course, for Blunt Force Trauma, dealing with Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox, and both of these teams going at it and doing everything that they can to see who will be the Crockett Cup winner. Aaron Stevens the most, as well wanting Blunt Force Trauma to actually get the win. We saw the referee take it out at one point and being able to have that happen, and then things moved on after that. And then we have, yes, Trevor Murdoch and as well Mike Knox, the new Crockett Cup winners, which is really cool. It makes totally sense on that. So, really cool stuff in night one and night two. I kind of actually like night two a lot more, if I'm all honest, on that. So, a lot has happened, a lot has been dealt with. But about does it for this episode of the In the Hot Seat podcast. I definitely got a lot more coming for this month, as well, especially for the AEW Forbidden Door. So if you're watching on the YouTube side of things, definitely check out the link tree. Same thing for all of my socials, which will also be there. Definitely leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified for all of the In the Hot Seat podcast, especially for not only the pro wrestling side, but for the pop culture side, and a little bit of everything right here for the In the Hot Seat podcast. And until then, I'll catch everyone